All right, everybody. It is my pleasure to host you tonight. My name is Christy Cool, and we're here tonight to talk about what it looks like to lock arms with us and inspire healthy living around the globe. You're going to learn how making one simple change can make the world of difference. So if there's anything that we have learned over the past 2.5 years is that things can change in a split second. And the question remains, are you prepared? Do you have cash on hand? Do you have a plan B? Do you have options? And do you like those options that you've created for yourself? Now more than ever, society is awake and taking inventory. People are asking themselves questions like, do I like my job? Do I like my life? Is it worth it? Is the sacrifice going to pay off? Some people are coming to the realization that they're tired. They don't like it where they are. They want to travel, they want more time with their family, and they want freedom of choice. 70 million people took inventory like this over the past 2.5 years, and they decided to leave their current situation. You may have heard of this thing called the Great Resignation. Now, out of the 70 million, 14 million were baby boomers that retired, but that leaves 56 million people that after taking inventory and being very honest with themselves, they decided to leave and step into a better alignment for the season of life that they're currently in, or the season of life that they're going to be moving into here shortly. So there's a few reasons why I see people decide to get a side hustle. Now, I once heard that there's two types of people in this world. There's people that need more money, and there's people that want more of it. And, money makes you more of who you are. I know everybody on this call wants to leave the world a little bit better than the way that they found it when they entered in. And so if you have more resources, then we can do that. Some people decide to get a side hustle because they love their job, but they've created a lifestyle now and they need more resources to support that lifestyle. So maybe there's new hobbies that they've grown into. Maybe they like fashion, maybe it's cars, maybe it's travel. Maybe your child has a very expensive hobby. Others decide to get a side hustle because they want options. They want to leave the job that's no longer serving them. And I think in general, what I see is that people want freedom of choice. People want the freedom to make changes and step into different alignment at different points of their life without it being so super disruptive. So tonight we're going to talk about what it looks like to become an affiliate with a global plant food company. We are #1 in affiliate income with health food, and we are aligned with the Juice Plus company. I give you all credit for being on this call. I think it is so super important when you are considering a side hustle or considering aligning with it with anything for income. That you feel alignment with the company, you feel alignment with the person that invited you and the people, and that you feel in alignment with the product as well as the problem that you solve, the services that you provide. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the problem that we solve. The slides are going to be a little unhappy for a couple slides, but then we're going to bring it back up. Okay, so what is the problem that we solve here being aligned with a global plant food company? Well, unfortunately, we're very unhealthy in the United States. And I don't think this is a surprise, but the severity of it may be a little shocking to you. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050. 1 in 5 children currently have obesity. Our children are harmed more by poor diet than they are the combination of drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. We were just recently at a conference and a healthcare professional shared with us that unfortunately, our children have a lower life expectancy than we do for the very first time. So we are trending in the wrong direction. I think we all know this, but I don't know if everybody knows the reasons why. There's reasons why we're trending in this direction. And the first one is that we're living in a very toxic environment. Environmental toxins are increasing. And there's pollution everywhere. There's contamination in our water. There's pesticides in our food. We are exposed to prescription and over-the-counter drugs, whether we want to or not, because they're in our food, they're in our water supply. There's chemicals everywhere. There are things that are not serving us in our skincare, our hair care products. And unfortunately, y'all, microplastics cannot be filtered out of our water and our food supply yet. The other reason why we are so unhealthy is the fact that our food quality is decreasing. So more than 50% of what Americans eat is processed. So what that means is that our food is filled with preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, growth hormones, GMO, less nutrition, pesticides, trans fat, artificial colors. You know, our bodies are not designed to run off of this stuff. We don't even know what it is. You know, to top all of that off, a lot of our produce, broccoli as an example, can lose 50 to 80% of its key nutrients before you even purchase it at the grocery store. And I'll explain a little bit more about that as we move along. All right, now we're getting happy. So what can we do to be healthier? Well, there's a few things that we can do to be healthier. We can focus on exercise. We can focus on sleeping 7 to 8 hours, managing our stress better, drinking more water, using safer products, and eating more real food. And for the remainder of this conversation, we're going to focus on how can we eat more real food. Experts agree that most diseases are preventable with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. All right, I want to talk about oxidative stress for a minute because this is going to make all of this make a lot more sense to you. I didn't know what oxidative stress was until a few years ago. And so oxidative stress is something that causes aging and disease in our body. That's the bad news. The good news is that the antioxidants in fruits and vegetables protect our cells and our DNA from the aging and the disease that's caused by oxidative stress. So the best way to demonstrate this is to take an apple and cut it in half and set it on your shelf. What happens to that once the inside of the apple is exposed to oxygen? It starts to oxidate and it starts to age. But if you were to take an antioxidant, you were to take lemon and you were to spritz it on one half of that apple, what happens? It doesn't age. It doesn't turn brown. So I want everybody just play along for a second here. Take a deep breath in. All right, let it out. So just like that apple that was exposed to oxygen, we just put oxygen into our body. So oxidative stress is happening in our body just simply by walking around and breathing air. So that's why the news isn't just that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they're so good for you, they could potentially save your life. I just thought my mom was trying to punish me to eat all those colors growing up. Today, we need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. One serving is the size of your fist, all right? So when you look at your babies, your children, one serving is the size of their fist. Now, athletes need more. Athletes are taking in a little bit more air and wind, right? So even if you work out, you need more than 7 to 13 servings to combat the oxidative stress that's happening in your body. Never used to be 7 to 13 servings. In the 1950s, it was 2 to 4 servings. So how in the world did we get from 2 to 4 servings to now 7 to 13 servings? Well, it's because we produce our produce in a commercially farmed way now, and we don't allow the produce to vine ripen to a point where it has its full nutritional capacity. Because if we did, it would rot in a few days. And right now, on average, organic produce travels 1,400 miles before it gets to the grocery store shelf. So we pick things far before they're ripe, far before they have the full nutritional capacity. And so to counteract that, you know, the powers that be just recommend to us that now we're supposed to eat 7 to 13 servings. The reality of it is there's only 1 in 10 people that are eating 7 to 13 servings in the United States. If we were to drop that number down to 5 servings, it's still only 1 in 10 people are getting 5 servings. Again, your children's fist is a serving, your fist is a serving. So we're not getting enough quantity and we're not getting enough variety. We're supposed to eat all the colors. Now, most people, 70% of Americans, realize that they're not eating enough and they're reaching for a multivitamin. And if that's you on this call, I give you a ton of credit because you realize that there's a gap and you're reaching for something to fill it. I want to take a moment and just explain to you the difference between multivitamins and whole food and why it is so strongly recommended that you eat whole food, a whole food source over multivitamins as much as you possibly can. There's 13 essential vitamins and 13 essential minerals that our bodies need, right? And so you can get that, sometimes in a multivitamin. Multivitamins are synthetic, so how much is really being absorbed, that really hasn't been studied. A lot of them go out the same way that they went in. Not saying that they're all bad, but if we're going to make a general statement, that's a true general statement that we can make. Now, multivitamins have can have the vitamins and minerals. But the reason they tell you to eat the whole food, number one, is that is what our body's designed to operate on. Our body knows how to process food. But there's these things called phytonutrients, which are antioxidants to us. And an apple, as an example, has 10,000 phytonutrients. This list off here to the right is a small sampling of all those phytonutrients. So there's 10,000 antioxidants in an apple that we consume, and we know exactly, our body knows what to do with it. But if you eat an orange, there's different phytonutrients in that orange. Same thing for the broccoli. And if your plate has all the colors on it, which it's supposed to have, then all those phytonutrients or antioxidants work in synergy together. And again, that's the way our bodies are designed for optimal function, as well as to optimal performance, function, and to prevent aging and disease. So what makes Juice Plus so unique? Well, Juice Plus is food. I'm happy to report that Juice Plus does not have that supplement label that you just saw. Juice Plus has a food label. We are simply dehydrated produce, which is so cool. We're as close to nature as possible. We're NSF certified. I want to get into both of that in a minute. We're vegan, we're kosher, we're non-GMO, we're gluten-free. There's absolutely no contraindications, and there's a huge body of clinical evidence that supports that Juice Plus does amazing things once it's consumed. So let's dig in a little bit to what makes Juice Plus so unique. Well, we grow our produce and we pick it at the peak of ripeness. So we pick it when it has all the nutrient density that it's supposed to have. We immediately take it to be mulched up, juiced, and dehydrated. If it has to travel more than 5 hours, then we flash freeze it to lock in all the goodness. Then everything goes into this big mulcher, the stems, the seeds, the skins and all. I didn't know this, but there's more vitamin C in the rind of the orange than there is on the inside of the orange. So everything goes in and we mulch it all up, we juice it, we dehydrate it. Sugar molecule is going to be heavier than the other dehydrated powder. So it falls to the bottom and we can easily kick that off to the side. And what we're left with is this amazing dehydrated powder from fruits, vegetables, and berries that has the vitamins, the minerals, and all those phytonutrients. It then goes into a very rigorous quality control testing called and we have the prestigious NSF certification. So what does that mean? Well, we can say that we're beyond organic, and organic is simply a paper trail. So if you see something that says organic, in order to get that certified organic stamp of approval, they just went to the farmer's logs and they looked to see, was there any herbicides or pesticides logged on that farm? They never test the finished product. The NSF certification, the only way you can get that is if they come in and they test the finished product. And they verify that what we say is on the label is exactly what's in the product and nothing more. No herbicides, no pesticides, no heavy metals, no contaminants. This is why professional athletes only consume products that have the NSF certification. First of all, they don't want any harm done to their body. They want to know exactly what they're consuming. And second of all, they don't want to accidentally consume something that is banned in their industry for competition. So once the powders are tested, then we blend them together and we have fruits, we have our vegetables, and we have our berries. They are encapsulated to prevent oxidation. We ship them directly to your home. And if you have enough time to yawn, you have enough time to pop these capsules in your mouth, drink a glass of water, and flood your body with the benefits of over 30 whole fruits, vegetables, and berries. Now, we also have an amazing plant-based omega product, and I was one of the folks that would take a fish oil, and boy, the fish burps are not a nice thing to have for the remainder of the day. Our product, again, our omegas are a vegan source. Fish are not naturally rich in omega-3. They eat algae to get their omega-3 capacity. So we go to the algae to get the omega-3 capacity as well. So no fish are harmed in our process. This is a broad spectrum omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 that covers benefits for the heart, the brain, the joints, the skin, the eyes. 100% plant-based and cold pressed. And like everything else, it's fully vegan, including the capsule too. We have complete shakes. This is a great solution for somebody that's on the go and and wants a great breakfast, a quick breakfast to flooding your body with macronutrition, get some protein, some carbohydrates from plants, along with some micronutrition too, with the broccoli, sprouts, radishes, alfalfa, chickpea, millet. We have mushrooms in there for a vitamin D source. I eat this for a healthy snack. Some people eat this in place of a meal. And we also have our Juice Plus Perform. I take one of these before my workout and one after my workout. I'm 42 years old. I am very aware that at this age now, it's very easy for me to lose muscle. And with that, it means that I could probably lose bone very easily too. So I drink 2 of these a day. It has 25 grams of plant-based protein. It supports muscle maintenance and growth. There are natural occurring B vitamins in here. So from guava and papaya, that supports energy production and mental performance. We add some beetroot powder and some tart cherry powder to help you recover from your workouts. It is NSF certified, like everything else, vegan, gluten-free, non-dairy, etc. And there's only 6 grams of natural sugar per serving. So finally, we have a plant-based protein performance shake that works as hard as you do. So this just does not have to be for athletes. This can be for anybody that's looking to get more protein into their diet. So experts say that changing your diet is equivalent to learning a second language. And so if you've ever tried to diet or make a big change and you've been unsuccessful, or you've watched somebody else do it, you may want to stop and think like, wow, if I was learning a second language, did I spend enough time to prep and to practice and to, review the restaurant menus and pick the restaurant that had the right food, and did I food prep on Sunday, et cetera, et cetera. Can we realistically get 7 to 13 servings every day? Well, only 1 in 10 are, and only 1 in 10 are getting the 5 servings. So I think it's safe to say that the vast majority cannot be successful in eating, enough. They may be able to eat more produce, but can they eat to 7 to 13 servings every single day? That may be hard for a lot of us to do. So that's where Juice Plus comes in. I want to reiterate, Juice Plus is not a replacement for food. This is just a better bridge if you want to bridge the gap, or you are bridging the gap between what you probably eat and what you should eat every single day. Even if you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, just remember that our food quality is so diminished, and the produce doesn't taste as good as it used to. We have to supplement in order to have our bodies run optimally, and also, most importantly, to prevent aging and disease. This is what really sealed the deal for me. I have a background in the medical device industry. Data means something to me. When I hear randomized, double-blinded, placebo-controlled, p-values, all this stuff it meant something in my world. And I found this product. I was 15 years in a very hard-charging corporate America world, and I traveled a lot. I was in a pressure cooker every single day. It was quota-driven, high stress. And unfortunately, my body just stopped going, and it stopped going because I wasn't nourishing it the right way. I started taking Juice Plus. Everybody's experience is different. The person who told me about it and I purchased it from told me to give it 4 months, because we have to rebuild your body at the cellular level. Food takes longer to make changes. This is not like popping an aspirin or an energy drink. And I was ready for that long haul. The beautiful thing that happened for me is I had more energy in less than a week. My hair started to look better. I had this Juice Plus glow. People started to compliment my skin. My eczema cleared up. I suffered from eczema for 20 years. I started to use the bathroom every day, and I tell you, that was worth its weight in gold. I would have just taken the product for that reason. But once I then saw the clinical data, I realized that the true benefit of Juice Plus is not all these things that I felt on the outside. It was the prevention. It was how it was rebuilding my body healthy at the cellular level in every single aspect. So what does this data show? Well, I'm going to give you a very brief overview, but out of those more than 40 clinical studies, first and foremost, there's 21 studies that show that it's bioavailable. What does that mean? Well, unlike, not having a lot of data on multivitamins, we have 21 studies that show you take Juice Plus, it gets in your system. And when it gets in your system, it does good things, like it improves your immune system. It decreases systemic inflammation. Any physician, and there's a lot of healthcare providers on this call tonight, will tell you that systemic inflammation is the root of all disease. Right? It's not good for the body. Antioxidants reduce that. When you eat fruits and vegetables, it has the ability to flip good genes on and bad genes off. And we have data that shows that when you take Juice Plus, it influences 1,600 genes in the positive direction. It improves cardiovascular health. One of the things that I think about a lot is that cardiac incident is still the number one cause of death for men and women. And I put a lot of stress on myself, and I live a very fast-paced life still because I enjoy it. But I do worry about my heart health. Homocysteine is a precursor. It's high when a heart attack happens, and it reduces homocysteine amongst many other cardiac benefits. It improves metabolic health, so it helps regulate insulin. Antioxidant protection. It reduces oxidative stress, back to that apple, and breathe in oxygen, and improves cognitive function. It improves our skin. It gives us this nice healthy glow. It improves athletic performance because, again, it reduces that oxidative stress. We have new studies that show that it improves gut health, and it increases omega-3 index, which is important for a variety of reasons, but a lot of you that may be important, your doctor may have you on omega-3 to help reduce your cholesterol. And if it's not budging, it may be that omega-3 is not being as active as it can be for you. This is my favorite piece of clinical data that we have. We give the product free to one child for every adult that's on it. And moms and dads that have had children take the product for a year have reported that 56% are taking less over-the-counter and prescription medications. 66% are visiting the doctor less. And one of the coolest things to me is that 61% are eating more fruits and vegetables. Now, this phenomenon happens with adults too. And this is the way that the body works. Whatever you're eating, you crave more of. So instead of taking away, instead of doing, diets, if we can simply add one good thing in, like Juice Plus, then we can leverage naturally all of these natural things that happen. And you'll find that both yourself and your children will more than likely over time start to gravitate and eat more fruits and vegetables. We have one more product that I want to tell you about, and this is our Tower Garden. Again, Juice Plus is not a replacement for fruits and vegetables. We still have to eat. If you want to take control of your food source and grow your own produce so that you don't have to buy it at the grocery store, so you can pick it right before you put it on your salad plate or cook it or put it in your smoothie, you can invest in a Tower Garden. Now we have two systems. The one here is for indoors, mainly herbs, lettuce, and microgreens. Everything is on a timer. The lights are, the pump is. But if you would like to grow things like zucchini or Brussels sprouts or tomatoes or anything except a root vegetable, we have another system that you can put outdoors and grow that. So now I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to share some of my wonderful friends with you, and they are going to share their experience with Juice Plus, why they said yes to the product and why they said yes to the business. So first up is my amazing friend Hayward. She is a mama. She's a physician assistant who works in neurology. And let me just spotlight her for you. She's going to share her story with us. Hayward, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and great to be a part of this. So Christy asked me just to kind of share a couple things, my personal story and why my husband and I sought out actually Juice Plus and how we got involved. And then I have a sister with some health issues, and so I'll share a little bit about her. But in general, I had heard about Juice Plus for many years, actually back in high school. I had relatives that had taken the product and some friends at church. And, in high school, you could really care less about all of that stuff. So you don't really think about the importance of those things until you're in your 30s and you have children and you start to notice changes in yourself. And so I had heard about it. I had a familiarity with the product. My parents took it as well. But over the past, I would say probably 3 or so years, I personally had just battled fatigue, and my husband and I had gone back and forth trying different things. And of course, traditional medicine and talking to my primary care, surely there's something wrong with my thyroid. I'm a PA. So every time I was just convinced I just need some Synthroid, that has got to be what's wrong with me. And same answer, your labs look normal. Everything looks great. You're just a mom. You're tired. You work full time. I almost got to the point where I avoided my primary care just because I was tired of that answer. I knew I was exhausted, and, I accepted it for a couple of years that I was just going to be tired. But then I moved on to a point where I, felt like I wanted to make a change for myself, my husband, my family. Even at one point I was so had such bad fatigue and knew something was off that I had gone to my mother's menopause doctor, thinking I was possibly going through early menopause because that ran in my family. That's how severe it was. So I just basically, when everything came back normal and I was medically healthy and everything looked okay, I began just starting to seek out other things and knew something was wrong. And Juice Plus came back, and I came across some of the clinical studies myself. And then I actually was part of a PA group and was seeking out somebody who had a product like that. And have then since learned a lot more about the product. And just in general, it made sense to me that it was, not necessarily a supplement, which I had added for the past 3 years. I did what my primary care said, what everybody says, oh, you need B12, vitamin D, have a pantry full of those kind of products. And I never noticed a difference personally. And then also you go back to the doctors and your levels are, oh, great. I have no reason that you're just fatigued. You're just a mom. And best of luck. And I couldn't accept that as an answer. And more recently, in the past 6 months, I just felt like there was something that I was not doing adequately. And as a PA or working full time, I had put myself on the back burner in terms of my nutrition and health, the more and more even that I researched about the product. Additionally, so myself and my husband were looking for ways to be healthier, but I have a 3 and a 5-year-old boys who are just beyond picky. That doesn't even begin to express my 5-year-old. I mean, zero vegetables. He's vegan by choice, but more texture and attitude. Many trips to the pediatrician as well. Very, very worried. Tried everything in the book to try to get him to eat vegetables and various things, and always worried about his health and nutrition. So when I found out additionally, Juice Plus has a program where they do have products for free for children for 4 years. That was another big motivator. I mean, I could probably handle and put, you can take more yourself, but when it comes to your children, then that was definitely the straw that broke the camel's back. I wanted to make sure we were doing something not correct with our nutrition. None of us were getting what we needed nutritionally. So we had been on it even for about, certainly we had been told that to give it the full 4 months and before you really notice any results. And I can say personally, myself, my husband, we both noticed it far, far sooner. I have horrible insomnia. So another reason that they always, pegged, you're just tired because you don't sleep, blah, blah, blah. And I noticed I was sleeping much better. I sleep through the night. I used to take melatonin, Unisom, all different things, and I take none of that anymore, which was a bizarre. I couldn't believe it that was the case because I had done that for so many years. Cravings, that was one of the things that was told to me, that more for my children, that you will notice that as your body becomes used to these nutrients, you'll start to crave different things. And I absolutely have noticed that in myself and my husband. I am I was a Chick-fil-A mom, and I have nothing against Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A, but ease, my kids would eat it, and I felt like it was maybe the healthiest fast option, and really not. I was missing a lot of nutrients. So we don't crave that even at all, which is weird. I've never, if somebody had told me you wouldn't ever want a Chick-fil-A chicken nugget again, I would not believe you. My 3-year-old asked for carrots. He's never eaten a carrot in his life. So when that part was first told to me, actually by Christy, she said, you will probably notice that the boys will start craving things. So I was like, yeah, right. And they have, it's crazy. So those are the big things for us. Certainly our energy levels have changed drastically. we're eating much better, and craving different things and just sleeping better. And my boys, I just have peace of mind knowing that they are getting what they need. Um, my sister, Christy asked me to share a little bit about her. So my sister has a few autoimmune diseases all popped up in her 20s. She has pretty severe celiac disease. So I know the gluten-free is a big thing for a lot of people, but for individuals with celiac disease, I mean, it can cause a lot of inflammatory issues that she has dealt with for years, and honest, can cause death of the cilia, of the intestine. So she had battled that for a while and got that under control, but very limited in terms of what she could eat, and until more recently. And thankfully, they've got a lot more options. So that came about. And then she has Hashimoto's thyroiditis and a lot of thyroid issues because of that. And then more recently, she has been trying to conceive for several years, and has been unable to successfully do that. She has polycystic ovarian syndrome, and follows closely for that. And so I just had done a lot of research once we began the journey of the product of how to help her, and it made sense to me. She had also unfortunately experienced multiple miscarriages, and basically had been told by a reproductive endocrinologist that that was just going to be the case, and we may get lucky one day, and not that she has several things acting against her, particularly the polycystic ovarian syndrome and the Hashimoto's. Very difficult to conceive under both circumstances and to have a healthy pregnancy. So she's had multiple miscarriages. So she agreed, that the research that showed behind pregnancy, one, there's good thyroid studies in the clinical research, but additionally, there's some evidence that backs PCOS. And then just in general, beyond that, and my sister our brains don't work the same. She's an English teacher. She really could care less about the clinical studies. She wants me to just say, why should I do that? And basically the gist of it is, when you're pregnant and trying to support a pregnancy or prepare your body for a pregnancy, it makes perfect sense that your body needs more, certain nutrients, but if not more of those nutrients. We just found out she's about 10 weeks pregnant, and very healthy. She's had, everything has gone very successfully so far. I can't help but believe that Juice Plus has a large part of that, because I think she's getting nutritional support that she did not have previously, that her body desperately needs. So I, certainly this is the first experience that we have had with that, and she's very excited. She's she still takes the Juice Plus throughout her pregnancy. It's perfectly safe in pregnancy. So that was one of the big things. She can take it with her prenatal vitamin. Her OBGYN and high risk OB highly recommended, after reading about it themselves. They actually weren't familiar with the product, but so that was one of the big things with her. My sister was a big motivator, just for her autoimmune issues, but having a healthy pregnancy. So our family is overjoyed with that. And again, I can't help but think that Juice Plus really did probably play a part in that. So I'm sorry, the timeline was, she had just experienced 2 miscarriages prior to starting Juice Plus, where she's about 3 months, almost into her 4th month of Juice Plus. And we have now, this is the farthest she has carried and had a healthy pregnancy. So that was kind of a big plus for us. So I did not plan on becoming a Juice Plus partner. And I just, decided that it when I was told about the company, and when Christy, told me more and more, and we started to noticed changes, and certainly for the boys, I've, wanted to be more involved in spreading word and helping others. I'm a neurology PA, so I think there's lots of benefits from that regard that, that could help patients, just in general. But the biggest thing, I'm starting slow and small, and I just very much believe in it, and I'm excited to share it with my family and my friends. And that was a big driver of why I got involved. Um, I did not plan on becoming a partner. I just wanted the product for our family, but we believe in it this much that my husband and I thought it was a great opportunity to have a side hustle. In addition, Michael, actually, eventually I would love to kind of step out of medicine full time, and be with my boys more. So additionally, adding a side hustle, so to speak, would be great for that to be my main hustle down the road, would be my hope. So we've had a wonderful experience and been blessed to be a part of it. So
Thank you so much, Hayward. I love your story. It's been a pleasure to get to know you and to work alongside of you. And I really love that your sister for the first time has carried her first baby to 10 weeks.
Thank you.
Huge success. So thank you so much for sharing. We're going to move on to Andrea, and she's going to share her story and introduce herself.
Well, hi, everyone. Wow, Hayward, that is just such a beautiful story. Thank you so much. That's really hard to follow up. I was so touched from that. So thank you so much for sharing. Hi, everyone. My name is Andrea DeGardi Court. I am a wife to my husband, Kipper, of 9.5 years, and we are fur baby parents to 2 dogs and 3 cats. And if it was up to me, a lot more. I was born and raised in San Antonio, Texas, but I grew up in Warner Robins, Georgia, in a military family. And we currently live in Newton, North Carolina, where we are in the process of trying to build our house off of Lake Hickory. And I graduated from Texas A&M University, and I have a bachelor's in comparative psychology with a neuroscience minor. And my emphasis was working with marine mammals. I have worked in the veterinary field for over 17 years, and I was a marine mammal trainer for many of those years. So before Juice Plus, I was battling chronic hormonal migraines, daily asthma attacks that were onset by severe allergies, and it was sports induced, had terrible hormonal acne, and my stomach was upset after every meal that I ate. I was exhausted with extremely low energy level, and like Hayward, I was battling nightly insomnia that was also keeping my husband awake. And unfortunately, I fell into a pretty deep state of depression after losing my beautiful mother to stage 4 breast cancer that moved into her brain 7 years ago. She fought incredibly hard for the 4 months after her diagnosis until she passed away. And that immense pain, the fear, the frustration, the anxiety, and the exhaustion, when you watch your loved ones fighting for their life, was just almost too much for me to bear. Then 3.5 years ago, I was introduced to my friend April, and she shared with me a simple solution that would add better nutrition into my daily routine, and that was Juice Plus. It wasn't until she shared with me the research behind the phenomenal phytonutrients that it piqued my interest a little more. With my degree and background, I understood the difference between borrowed research and, just like Christy had mentioned earlier, the difference between peer-reviewed and placebo-controlled tested, double-blind, and gold standard studies from across the globe. When I found out that they were the #1 clinically researched nutritional products in the world, I was interested. But when I saw the study that was on women's health that was conducted at the world-renowned MD Anderson, which was where my mom was being treated at, that was the sign that I was looking for. And, I said yes to Juice Plus within a week. My husband was the first one that noticed my sleeping habits improving, because so did his. I started to use the restroom regularly, which was great. And my stomach was not hurting after every meal. My depression was improving and my skin was clearing up. And heading into 1 month after eating it, I started to have a better outlook on my health. Within a year, those hormonal migraines that were affecting me almost over 15 days and were debilitative throughout the month were almost down to 3 or less. And I was no longer grabbing first thing in the morning my inhaler that I needed to use for years and years. Not to mention that my energy was finally through the roof. It's now been 3.5 years. I've had only well visits at my annual exams, and my blood work has looked better than ever. And ironically, I'm feeling better in my late 30s than I ever did in my early 20s. This was the gift of hope that I was needing, and not only that, searching for. And it finally showed me that my DNA did not have to be my destiny, and that I didn't have to live in constant fear that what happened to my beautiful mother was going to happen to me. The day that I said yes to better health, I actually said yes to better wealth. I became an affiliate with Juice Plus, not only because we were needing another source of income, but because I wanted to make a difference at the same time. But what happened next was just forever going to change our lives. I had been working multiple jobs since the age of 16, but I never knew that I could make an income while making a huge impact on the world. I'm now a business owner with a global company, and it allows me to work alongside my husband, free from the stresses of overhead costs or minimum monthly quotas, one that can offer a corporate benefits package. So, yay, as well as the experience of what residual income can feel like. We can actually work from anywhere, and I now have experienced what time flexibility can look like. We can have a global business where our paychecks are a direct reflection of all of the lives we help, whether it's friends or family. And this opportunity has, more importantly, turned my pain into such a great purpose, a purpose that has created a new passion in my heart for sharing with others that there is hope and there is something out there. And this could be just what they might be searching for or needing, just like me. I'm forever grateful that I get to be a part of this worldwide initiative where we get to make the planet a better place by inspiring healthy living alongside our best friends who have become more like family. They are our biggest cheerleaders, and even more important, our prayer warriors. Our future is so much brighter than ever, and we know that the best is yet to come. And I hear this quote a long time ago, and it reminds me so much of what we get to do, and I'd love to share it with you. It's when ripples occur, when you can create an impact on someone's life. You not only impact their lives, but you also impact everyone influenced by them throughout their entire lifetime. No act is ever too small. And one by one, this is how we continue to make waves and help our oceans rise. So thank you again for letting me share a little bit of my story. And thank you, Hayward, again. You were such a blessing for me to hear.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, Andrea. You are such a bright light, and you're absolutely right. Your DNA is not your destiny. I'm so sorry that you lost your mom, but your future is bright, and I'm so glad that you found this, and love partnering with you. We are now going to move on to Stacy Whitmer. Stacy, can you introduce yourself and share your story?
I would love to. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you to the other two women that shared their stories. I think one of the most powerful things that we have here in our world, in our Juice Plus community, is that we are all literally on the same mission. We are all looking to change the course of the health, the world's health, one family at a time. And where my story looks different, we all have the same purpose and we're all on the same path. And I love everything about that. I'm Stacy Whitmer. I'm a national marketing director from Long Island, New York, if you can't tell by the accent. And honestly, national marketing director is just a title. And really what this means is this. It means that I have locked arms with hundreds of women and men all over the world to help impact the lives and the health of people around us. It also means that we have locked arms with and have helped thousands of families all over the world put better nutrition in their bodies, period. That title just means I have worked with a lot of people and that I have had a lot of conversations to get to this place. See, Juice Plus for me just made sense, and it made sense very early on. Like Christy, I was in corporate America for 11 years. I was a gymnast in my olden days. I got a full gymnastics scholarship to college where I studied biology and kinesiology. I met my husband there. He was on a full football and baseball scholarship. And, you know, as athletes, we were healthy, right? No, No, we were not. We might have looked the part, but we were not healthy. I was physically fit. I was not nutritionally fit. Two very different things. I would come home from practice after 4 hours of training and lifting, and I would eat a Chipotle burrito and TCBY in the same meal. And I was 9% body fat, and I was competing on a national level. It didn't matter. I looked the part, but I was not flooding my body with the right things. But you don't know what you don't know until I did. And now I get to make a better choice for my children because I said yes to this family. I mean, to this family of nutritional products. So after college, I went into that corporate world, and that's what I thought you were supposed to do. You go to college, you get a career, and that's how this goes, right? This is the course that we're supposed to do. And for me, I was fine. I really enjoyed my corporate lifestyle until I called moments your until moments. And I was happy at my career until I had my firstborn. And then like 5 minutes later, I had my second. And at that point, I knew I wanted to stay home with my family, but I live in New York. I didn't have, how was I going to do that? My husband is a teacher and a coach, but I had a big income. I wasn't just going to walk away from that until in 2014, my company downsized my entire division, and I was downsized. And I remember thinking in that moment, I'll never forget that moment. I was in a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot I had a gray suit on, and they say they're going to call you and they're going to tell you if you still have a job. And I get this phone call, and she said, I'm sorry. And this woman who had to call me lost her job the day before I did. And she had to call me, and she said, I'm sorry, you no longer have a job here. And I must have giggled. And she said, did you just laugh? And I thought, did I just laugh out loud? I honestly, at that moment, it was like this freedom. I think I must have laughed out of relief because I didn't want to do this anymore. And 10 days later is when I went to a friend's wine and wellness event where I learned about the Juice Plus products and the Juice Plus business. And I never looked back since. I said yes to the product and the business at the same time because the product just made sense. Like Christy and like everybody else had said, when you're looking at a product at that time in 2014, there was 24 clinical studies. My corporate world was in pharmaceuticals, so I understand research. It makes sense to me. So I was the geek that read all 24 research articles from start to finish because I just needed to know all the details. P-values, come on now, it's like what I live for. So all that to say, I read through all of the information. And when you're looking at a product that is the most clinically researched nutritional product on the planet, yeah, it got my attention, and I felt like it was safe to give to my family. So I did. And I also looked at this compensation plan. I looked at the opportunity to say yes to the business at the same time because I found something that our world needed, and now I needed to tell them. I needed to tell everyone I knew in some capacity that there was something out there. I found a company that had figured out how to put fruits and vegetables in a capsule. This is what it is. It's nothing more, nothing less. I don't want you to overcomplicate this. And it was a message that I knew I had to share with people. So I said yes to both. I put my blinders on. I got to work. I shared this message far and wide. I had hundreds of people tell me no along the way. And that no is a no for now, not a no forever. And I'll tell you that every single no brought me so much closer to the people that said yes. And the people's whose lives we changed because of that yes. And 8 years later, almost 8 years, November is my 8th year. I hit national marketing director, that top position in the company, that full benefits package that they were referring to. That is an opportunity that I get because of this position that I have. And I've been in that position for 5 years and like upper leadership. I cannot imagine my life without this. You know, when I was downsized and I said yes to this business and this mission and this product and all of it, I knew nothing. I did not have social media. We did not have all the resources that we have now. I just knew I needed to provide health and hope to a world that needed it. And I knew I had a voice to do that. And I'll never forget, my husband looked at me one time, we were about to go to bed, and he said, "Hey, you're never going back to corporate America again, huh?" And I said, "No, I'm never putting on a suit and fancy heels unless it's on my terms and I want to." And I'll tell you, it's that commitment, that absolute passion and focus that has allowed me to live a life that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're happy where you are, own it. That's fantastic. But if you're looking for something more, you've got to be willing to keep your eyes open for the opportunity we have, and you have to be willing to work for it. When I say to you that you have a choice to make, you've heard a lot of awesome things tonight, stories, research, science, things that we can't make up. These are things that just happen in our body when we put this product in our body. These are stories of people's lives who have changed. You can hear all of this and do nothing, and nothing is ever going to change. Or you could be hearing some of this and you could be thinking, okay, wait a minute. This makes sense for me. Let me look into this product. Maybe this is the one simple health change that I need for my family. Well, I hope that that happens to you. And if it does, talk to the person that invited you, because they can help you with that. But if you're sitting here thinking to yourself, okay, I need this. So does Aunt Susan. So does my brother. So does all 4 of his kids. Like, if you're sitting here thinking of all these people that could benefit from this too, I challenge you to reach out to the person that invited you here just to say, hey, I want to talk about becoming an affiliate with the company. We need to lock arms with more people. We need more boots on the ground sharing a message of health and hope. And we provide both. And I'm going to leave you with this. Almost 8 years ago, I said yes to this mission and this product. Every single month, over 1,000 customers take Juice Plus from my team, from my big organization. I want you to do that math for a second. Over 1,000 customers, because I said yes. My one yes, that ripple effect, Andrea, that you were speaking of, I just got chills because it just fires me up. That one yes created a ripple effect that over 1,000 customers every single month get this product in their bodies. That is a yes that I am so stinking proud of. And that's a yes that you could be too. That's a yes that could change your future forever. It changed my life forever. But that's a yes you've got to own, and you've got to take responsibility for it. And I hope that you do. I hope that tonight's your yes.
Oh my gosh, Stacy, thank you so much. This is one of my favorite parts about being aligned with this organization is I get to be around such amazing individuals like Hayward, like Andrea, like Stacy, and so many more that are on here as well. This has become community. This has become family for me. And I'll tell you, I was very jumpy. I trusted no one in corporate America. So one of the decisions that I made to leave corporate America was because I knew I needed community. I had no idea I was going to find my source of income and impact and community all in one as well. So if we've said anything tonight that intrigues you, that interests you, the product, the business, possibly both, I would just encourage you to please reach out to the person that invited you here tonight. They love you, they care about you, and they'll find the best fit for what makes sense for you, to join with the product, join with the company, whatever makes sense. So thank you all so much for sharing your time. Thank you to our speakers. We love and care about you, and I hope you all have a great night. Thank you.